Miles, I was canceling streaming services through Amazon.
Which one first?
All of them.
When you say on Amazon, are you talking about, because I've been on it, like you get Studio Canal, you get Paramount, you get like all the subcategories. Is that how it works?
I mean, you get like almost every streaming service you can think of. I think other than Netflix and Hulu, you can get everything through Amazon. And the reason I've done it that way is because it's so much easier to subscribe and unsubscribe. Like with the click of a button, you subscribe,
right?
And then you just get the list there, and you're just like, oh, unsubscribe, 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 right? Even for free trials. Meanwhile, like if you want to like subscribe to Hulu, I have to go on my PC. Right, I have to resubscribe through there. I have to get on my TV and like scan a QR code or something like that, and then it's like, and then to connect the two, it's such a pain in the butt. And then when you want to unsubscribe, it's like you're usually not at your computer when you're thinking about unsubscribing. And so I do everything through Amazon because it makes it so easy, especially when you get like a 7-day trial, right? And it's so easy to subscribe and then like immediately unsubscribe, and to make sure you don't accidentally get charged. But here's what I've got to ask, Miles. Every single time I unsubscribe from a streaming service, it gives you a list of options saying, like, why are you unsubscribing? And it says, it's too expensive, right? Or it's an accidental
don't need it anymore. Don't need it.
Right. But it never has the one option that I need, which is there's nothing on your fucking service that I want to watch, right? They don't. That's the one option I think most people would pick. There's not enough stuff here for me to watch. There's no reason for me to keep paying for it. But that's the one option that doesn't exist. Like, do you think they just don't want to hear that shit? Like,
I guess so. Is there not an other where you then type? I mean, who wants to have to type out a reason? But
there is an other option. But again, I'm doing this from my television, and I'm definitely it doesn't. There's no space for me to type anything. So
that's
I just thought it was funny.
It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy, Brian.
I think they're all just, their egos are just so fragile they can't hear that their streaming service isn't very good.
Can you get PlayStation Plus on there on Amazon?
No.
Okay, I'm not interested.
All right, well, let's start the show.
Let's start the show.
This is PSVR GameScast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Eyes Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. We also care about your oral pleasure. That's why we put this up on podcast services of your choice. I really want to apologize to everyone right off the bat. I'm in pain. I hurt my back yesterday before the state of play, and I kind of pushed through it yesterday, and today, like, it just so much worse. So I am, if at any point I just have to stop the show and go, all right, guys, time to call it quits, then you know exactly what happened.
If you need to have a lie down, Brian, off camera, just lie on the floor, and then,
Hold on. Let me try this.
Can the microphone actually go down there if you want to?
All right.
No, just in case you can't get back up, Brian.
Can you still hear me from here?
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want to do it like that?
I don't know if this.
Let me be the psychiatrist. So tell me, Mr. Paul, what did you dream about? Actually, let's not go there.
You want to know what I dreamed about last night?
We can talk about it off camera.
Suddenly, this conversation just got way more interesting. Oh wow. Okay. I feel like such an old man right now. I'm like, I can't even move around in my chair properly. Anyway, my name is Brian Powell from the show right here with Parole and this guy over here. To my left, you're right. It's Miles Dyer.
Whoa. God, he's really not in the mood. Let's keep it like that though. Hello, Brian.
From YouTube.com/.
Oh no.
From Miles. It's Miles.
I literally feel my full body tense up every time. Like, I'm bracing for it. Here it comes. Hello, Brian. Hello, Gamecats. Hope you're all doing good. Happy Friday. Hope you had a wonderful week. Hope you enjoyed State of Play despite the lack of anything very VR-y interesting. But it was good. There was a lot of good stuff on there.
I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. Right? I mean, like,
it was great.
Not only did I have the privilege of streaming with Jammy Hero, but also we had 700 or 800 people watching live with us. And so it was fun. It was fun. I love it.
Yep.
Right. I don't think people are. I don't think people can handle it very well. Like when we don't get VR in a state of play, it happens so infrequently. It's just. I just saw the chat be so reactionary, and I saw so many comments after the fact, and people on Twitter being so reactionary, being like, despite the fact that we had Forefront announced this week, and we had a Secret of the Mimic update, and I mean, it felt like it was like raining PSVR2 news all week long leading up to the state of play. The second state of play was over and there was no PSVR2 news. It was like, well, PSVR2's dead. It was like, I don't understand the mentality. And I want to be clear. I think it's okay to be upset about it. And I think it's okay to, tell Sony, be like, hey, listen, you've really got to represent PSVR2 in this stuff. But to be like, well, that's it, I'm selling my headset, is just so reactionary and I'm sorry, like a little bit childish.
It's not either or.
Here. We're adults. So
I mean, I'm not, but
I mean,
it's not either or.
I feel like somebody's grandfather right now, so I'm going to go with adult.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, it was an amazing state of play. Has Sony just abandoned showcases? Have they not done it for a couple of years now? Because I just feel like it's interesting the way it goes, but psychologically it makes sense because it's like you had showcases which were always like the main event of the year, and therefore whenever there was a state of play, it was like, okay, they're going to show a couple of games, indie games, and like it'll matter to some people, but it was always the expectation of state of play. Don't worry about it. So if you're going to go with one of those brands, what are you going to go with? You're going to go with state of play because then the bar is low in expectation, and you can always, because you remember they kept doing the blog posts going, managing expectations. Like they would always do that of like, we're only going to be showing this, we're going to be showing that. Whereas this time it was like, I don't actually know how they described it. Did they say they had an hour? I mean, it was an hour and 10.
Yeah, they said 60,
there was that whole bit, wasn't there?
60 plus minutes. That's what they said.
Right. Okay, and that's what they did. So there was that bit where they said, we've got some more cool stuff to show you. And I remember you and Jamie being like, what more cool stuff? Like, there's still a few more things.
Right.
But there was a lot of rumors about stuff that was being worked on because of the anniversary of God of War. There was speculations that things were being worked on behind the scenes. Death Stranding coming to PC, seeing some of is it Saurus, the Returnal spiritual successor, all this kind of stuff. Spider-Man 2 going to be on PS Plus. There was a few other rumors of like, were we going to see like Venom? Like a Venom game announced in association with that, of the get Spider-Man 2 on PS Plus, because then you want people to get excited for the next installment from them in the Spider-Verse. But yeah, no, overall I thought it was really, really solid, and I'm never expecting there to be just I thought the only VR we would see is if it was a flat screen game that had VR support, because that's how you do it. You throw it at the end. It's like the VR community, as long as it says at the end, everything you've just seen is coming to VR, we're happy. It's the acknowledgement. And you can do that without upsetting the non-VR assimilated, where it's like just a wholly VR thing. And then everyone's like in the chat, oh, VR, who gives a shit about that? VR's for squares, or whatever they put in there. But there was absolutely nothing, which I was not surprised by.
Why weren't you surprised by it? I do have to ask because we've gotten very used to them not saying there'll be PSVR2 reveals in the blog post leading up to it, and other than the Japan specific state of play that we saw, it's been a couple of years, I think, since there hasn't been any mention of PSVR2.
The reason I wasn't surprised was because the day before we had those two announcements, Forefront and Secrets of the Mimic. Because Forefront is a bit more up for question. Like, Forefront is an excellent game, and I feel like that is definitely Sony's bread and butter when it comes to VR. Like, an awesome, 32-player multiplayer experience in VR. Sure. I mean, I can't wait for that. Whereas Secrets of the Mimic, that is a company that would definitely be in conversations with Sony. Obviously, they've been mentioned before. But then again, it could have been that thing of like, they'd announced it with Sony before and then it was retracted. And so it's like Sony aren't going to then promote it again, like, Cry Wolf kind of thing. But I just felt like with that double hit and then Titanfall also getting announced, it was just in the air for me that
just speaking for the chat, if only Titanfall got announced for PSVR2.
Oh, sorry. What did I mean? I would tell me the name I'm thinking of.
Titan Isles got a release date, and it's coming soon. Yeah. It's coming this month, which is great.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, after High Guard, maybe they can work on a VR Titanfall thing. Yeah, no, just for me, it was. And look, I'm not here saying, oh, it was definitely not. You know, I was watching it going, no, at any moment now there might be a VR thing. Yeah. Even when Resident Evil 9, at the end, I was like, there could be still in development. So I'm not saying I watched it all thinking, no, not expecting it. I was there hoping with everyone else. But at the end of it, I was just like, I was not surprised. But maybe that's just how we are now with stuff as well. It's like, just keep expectations on the floor, and anything is a bonus. And you know,
yeah, listen, I think there's Sony money behind Secret of the Mimic, right? And that's why I was really surprised, right? Because I was like, oh well, it's kind of a bummer that they just kind of re-announced and reminded us that it's still coming and here's a release window, but we haven't seen any VR footage of it, right? And the same thing goes for Microsoft Flight Sim. So I was like, even though those weren't games I was super excited to see in a state of play, we have not seen VR footage of either of those games, and especially not on a Sony stage. So I thought that would have been great. It's like, hey, give us specific release dates, show us VR footage. And especially in a show that was 60 plus minutes.
Yes.
Right. You're not cutting stuff down for time. You're kind of being loosey goosey here with the amount of stuff you're throwing in, because it's a 60 plus minute show. It was almost 70 minutes. So it's like, what was the reason to not spend 60 seconds of that 70 minutes talking about PSVR2? Just to remind you, hey guys, look at the good stuff we have coming,
And another reason behind it as well is, like, strategically, when you're looking on the market off the back of, and I know I think it's up for debate whether Sony sees Meta as a direct competitor. But after all the news with Meta, the closing of studios, that would be a moment where Sony could have actually reasserted themselves and gone, if you're into VR, this is the kind of experiences that we're backing. Like, if it was, Forefront and, Secrets of the Mimic, and maybe something else. Even if Resident Evil 9, and by the way, I'm one of the people that feel that Resident Evil 9 is, I never thought there was much of a chance, because I believe in Sony investing money in different niches, and horror has already been well served, and especially if Secrets of the Mimic is a part of a funding round as well. But if they had announced Resident Evil 9 VR in development and it was for 2027, I think everyone would have been happy with that still. And it also provides, I always talk in marketing about, like, North Stars, the idea that you always want people looking towards something in the distance, so that, like, when you have those quiet months and stuff, you've always got in the back of your mind of something really to look forward to, quite far out. Because this year we've got Flight Simulator, and we've got a lot of great games that are coming out, and just, like, knowing that was next year, that would be cool. But if it was not Resident Evil 9, I thought there was a chance there was some other North Star they might tease out there of, we're working on this. But there's going to be other state of plays this year. February tends to be a pretty big one. And obviously this was, I think, if not, this was basically a PlayStation showcase.
I mean, basically, right? I do think the reason they're not using the showcase moniker is because we know that Sony's lost their way a little bit recently, right?
Yes.
And so there wasn't, like, a massive amount of first-party stuff here. There was, and I'm glad to see they're getting back on their feet, and they're starting to announce new stuff, and things are looking good. But they're not there yet. This is certainly not Sony of the PS4 or PS3 era, where they're just firing on all cylinders and first-party studios releasing games. I mean, multiple first-party bangers every single year. You have 20 studios, each of them working on 1 to 2 games, which means that every year you have upwards of 4 to 5 first-party games coming out. Insanity. And so I think Showcase will be reused. I think they'll get back to that moniker when all of their first-party studios are back up and running, where they're supposed to be and back on track. Maz, I do want your opinion though. You've already said, hey, there's more state of plays coming. Do you think there's any reason to worry about there not being any PSVR2 games, or even a mention of the headset in the state of play?
I mean, I'm not worried, and and that's just because me working at Impact Reality and Flat2VR Studios and the stuff that we're doing behind the scenes. Like, if I was to tell you, are we leaning more in or away from PSVR2 since last year? We're leaning more in. Like, we're becoming much more aggressive in looking for opportunities of the ways that we can serve the PSVR2 community. Because look, Wes and I working there, we are very aware that we're massive PSVR2 fans and we're always banging on about it. I remember when V-Racer Hoverbike came on Quest and we were like, it did okay on Quest, but I was like, but when it comes to PSVR2, this is the audience for it. But we still got that doubt. It's like, we believe in the community, but how's it actually going to do? And it actually did really, really well, and it's continuing to do good. And so there's that. And then we're seeing all these other games announced. So Titan Isles is going to be great. Forefront coming is awesome. Like this initiative that you're doing with the Game Cats in the Discord is just phenomenal. And you just need to realize that all the stuff, for example, that's gone into the blog posts on Resident Evil 9 may not result in Resident Evil 9 coming to VR, but it may result in the next Capcom thing coming to VR. Do you know what I mean? So it's not always going to have a direct return, but it is making momentum. And I do think that what happened with MetaQuest this year, or Meta, in terms of like closing down all these AAA studios, which of course terrible. My heart goes out to everyone that's working in that industry. There's people that we know working there, and we hope that they get set up somewhere else. But it is creating an opportunity for the indie studios, the AA studios, to actually have a chance with visibility on the store, because they're no longer going to be competing against these AAA games that are never going to make a recoup on the investment. They're given all this money by the platform holders because they want to sell headsets. And so I think that there is an opportunity here for, studios to thrive. I think we're moving into a new phase. So a bit of a long answer, but in terms of what we're doing, but also what we're seeing in conversations, there are a lot of people that are looking towards PSVR2. And even if you were to take the more cynical case, which is one that I often talk to people about, which is you might be an indie studio, you put a game on the PSVR2, you might be releasing on a week that there's no other games, or maybe one other game, like the visibility there, and everyone's going to be talking about it. And so unfortunately there's obviously a lot of shovelware, and I hope that Sony continues to take down these listings. It's embarrassing how many there are still announced. But I do think that there's a lot of developers that are looking, who may have already published elsewhere, that are now looking towards, okay, how do we get this to PSVR2? Because the community is so vibrant. And when you have a vibrant community, that's marketing. That's marketing spend for you. When people are shouting about like your game, even if that doesn't mean that you're selling huge amounts on day one, it means you might actually have a longer lifespan where people keep talking about your games in these conversations. Sorry, that was a really long answer.
No, all good, all good. Listen, I think it's important for people to remember like how Sony does things, right? And one of the things that it's tough being in my situation and your situation, because we know more than we can let on. And I think when you know just enough, it becomes dangerous, right? And I know just enough right now where I'm like, man, I know of at least a couple games that should have been at the state of play for PSVR2. A couple games, right? And I'm like, well, if they're not announcing them there, where are they going to announce them, right? And so it does kind of instill a little bit of hope in me that, hey, the 3rd year anniversary of PSVR2 is coming up, right? We're mere minutes away. It's, I don't know, was it like 10 days away? And we know that PlayStation loves their little PSVR2 spotlights that they do on the PlayStation blog, right? So maybe they're looking at the numbers and saying, hey, like, compared to flat screen stuff and the PC stuff that's making us billions of dollars, maybe a state of play, this big stage event isn't the right place to satisfy our PSVR2 customers. Maybe we should be going and doing the spotlight thing, especially with the 3-year anniversary coming up literally 10 days from now. So I think we're getting a spotlight. I think we're going to get updates on some games we know about. I think there's going to be announcements on games that we didn't know were coming. And as always, there's always the last thing is like, oh, one more thing. This one's out right now, like a little stealth drop, right? So that's my hope. That's my hope. That's how I hope that they honor PSVR2 in this month in February on its 3rd birthday. So I don't think all hope is lost, but at the same time, I don't have a ton of faith in them to even do that, right? I like that they're backing games behind the scenes. I like that they're giving money to certain developers in order to get PSVR2 modes, and I'm kind of okay if that's how we sort of truck along, and that's how the rest of this generation goes. We had a stellar 2024. We had an even more stellar 2025, and as it looks right now, we could have an even more stellar 2026. This could be better than 2025 or 2024, and so I want everyone out there to know that even when Sony's not jumping up and down about it, we got you covered.
Wes in the chat was saying Spotlight confirmed winky face. I mean, all those things you listed just now about shadow drops, updates, releases. Speaking for ourselves, we're going to be responsible for all of those things in the next several months in different ways, and we're not going to be the only ones. Obviously, we'd love to tell you more, but the point is, like, we coming it out after how insane the end of last year was. And we did get a nice breather at the start of the year, get a nice break. Yeah. We thought, okay, it's going to start ramping up. We're going to have, honestly, we have got so much stuff coming out over the next between now and May. It's like there's a lot, and they're not all going to be brand new releases. A lot of them are updates, but like substantial ones. And honestly, there are some things that are updates, which are some of the things I'm most excited for, like this year coming out. So yeah. And this is only possible because we have a community that is vibrant. So just don't be discouraged. That's the only thing I can say. Like studios notice this, developers notice this, and leadership at our company is constantly like, Jesus Christ, these PSVR2 folk are wicked. So.
Well, Miles, that's definitely something I wanted to bring up. As you already mentioned, the Gamecat Ops movement is in full force over on our Discord, and you know, especially after a state of play like this, where there was no PSVR2 announcements, especially for games that seem like there should have been VR announcements, like this trailer I'm showing right now. This is Star Wars Galactic Racer. Holy crap, does this game look good, right? And also, holy crap, as much as, you know, we love V-Racer Hoverbike, there is something there that, like, that's not quite delivering on the Wipeout experience. It gives us a futuristic racer, but like, we don't, you know, you're always on these hoverbikes, right? That's the name of the game. But then you look at something like this, Star Wars Galactic Racer, and you're like, holy crap, this could be the thing, right? With these like next gen, almost like photorealistic environments, and, you know, obviously the Star Wars license and Lucasfilm obviously giving us so much VR love prior to this, with Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, Invader Immortal, and Squadrons, right? There has been a lot of support from so this is our newest game. This is the newest game we want to focus on, and so we.
Who's developing this?
Well, it's published by Lucasfilm. I don't know the developer off the top of my head. Here, is it already listed?
It looks awesome. I hadn't seen it before.
Oh,
because when you first started talking about it, I thought we were talking about that MetaQuest mixed reality thing, which wasn't. It didn't look particularly great.
So it's actually being published by Secret Mode and developed by Fuse Games, according to Steam. So
yeah, it looks awesome.
So so now the goal is like, hey, let's get the word out, because these are the kind of games, Miles, that I feel like are easy wins. These are the kind of games that, when we're not asking for some first person mode that needs to be implemented. No, this already has a first person cockpit mode. We're not asking for two hands in the game, or to use VRAF controls. No, we want to sit there in the headset with our Sense controller that already works, because it's a flat screen game. So what we're asking them to do is not revamp the entire thing to make it work in VR. We want them to make it playable within the VR headset, and that is the end of the story, right? And using DFR, it shouldn't be an issue. Like, even if it has to run reprojected, which I'm sure it would, again, we're not asking for that much. So these kind of things are an easy win for us, and we've already gotten a couple easy wins, and I think we're going to get a lot more easy wins over the next couple months. So I really want people to focus on this, but like, honestly, Miles, like, people are already focusing on this. It is crazy. I don't know if you've seen this. I sent you a Twitter link that I want you to take a look at, and I'm going to bring up here on the screen in just a second.
I already have an idea of. So by the way, I clearly missed out some bits of State of Play because I was about to ask you, is this out already? So it was actually announced at State of Play. I must have missed this bit.
It was announced at State of Play, and it looks gorgeous, right? I mean, it's just absolutely
it does. It looks stunning.
So this is actually PlayStation tweeted this out. High speed gameplay revealed for Star Wars Galactic Racer in today's State of Play. More announcements to come. Blah blah blah. And then you start scrolling down, and it's like, oh hey, PSVR2 support request.
Love it.
Oh, PSVR2 support request. Oh, PSVR2. It's non-stop. Have you just given up on VR? Flat screen's boring. Bring this to VR. I mean, it is non-stop. I love you guys. I fucking love you guys.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Right? I mean, it's just nonstop. This is the part when we ask for a PSVR2 mode. PSVR2 should have been a no-brainer for this one.
This is so good.
You guys are fucking incredible, and I swear to you, if we keep making noise, we will start getting the answers that we want to hear. And again, just because we didn't get Resident Evil announcement yesterday, all not hearing about Resident Evil Requiem coming to PSVR2 tells me is that, hey, maybe it wasn't secretly in development all this time. They just didn't want to tell us. But maybe we're getting through to them, right? And so if we just keep pushing and we don't take our foot off the gas, and we every single post, every single blog post, every single tweet, every single blue sky, like, we need to be vocal, and we need to keep being vocal and not give up and say, oh, well, they didn't announce it State of Play, I guess it's not happening. Bro, it wasn't happening before this, and we were asking. And just because it's not happening right now doesn't mean we stop asking, right? Unbelievable how good you guys are at this. Thank you so much. If you want to be organized in this, come join our Discord. That's where we're posting these kind of links. That's where we're posting videos and social media posts that we want you to go out there and be vocal on. And I think together we're going to make some changes this year. Good job.
I just want to add to the equation as well. This is absolutely amazing. I know this isn't exactly what a lot of people want to hear, but again, the Resident Evil thing, it hasn't happened. There will be indie developers, AA developers working on a horror game that weren't considering VR. Sort of PSVR2 or maybe VR, and they see this and go, God, look at that. We've got a game that would cater for that audience, so we're going to bring it. So again, it's always about looking at the bigger picture and realizing that it is this halo effect. You have a specific target you go for, and that's very, very important. But when the dart hits the target, it creates a bit of a ripple, and there, it's going to be felt from everything around. So yeah, just keep this up. This is amazing.
I saw in the chat another game that we're focusing on over on the Gamecat Ops, Chrysal, Theater of Idols. See, Alejandro D. Catalurgic. No, I've got your name all screwed up, buddy. I'm sorry. In the chat, Alejandro is saying, I've been looking at Chrysal reviews. They're in the 7 to 8 range. This could be great in VR. Dude, exactly. This is what I was saying about Dead Island 2. Right? I was playing Dead Island 2 and I was like, this is a 7 out of 10. But then I thought, man, in VR, this could be a 9 out of 10. Right? It changes everything. That level of immersion, being able to look at your weapons up close and kind of like actually, it makes everything better. VR makes everything better. That was my original catchphrase on Without Parole, and it's still true to this day. And so, while I agree that Chrysal on the flat screen is a 7, maybe an 8, in VR it could be a 9. Right? I think it blows away so many of the single player first person adventures that we've gotten over the last couple of years. So. Let's keep it up, you guys. Let's keep it up. And the Chrysal developer responded to me today saying, listen, definitely thinking about it maybe in the future, like nothing concrete. But what he's saying is like, we're focusing on the flat screen version. We're focusing on making it the best we can right now. So, we'll keep poking them every so often. And then maybe once they get all the bugs and everything worked out, they address all the criticisms of the flat screen mode, then maybe they can start looking at the VR mode. But we've got it in their head, and that's so important. Yep. Right? They're thinking about it.
On in the seats. You say it makes everything better. It also makes everything else worse. The amount of flat screen games I just find so boring now. It's just like, oh my God, this is spoiled. All this. I used to love this kind of stuff, and now it's just like, why am I looking through this narrow window?
I feel like it's two different hobbies, Miles. I feel like playing games on a flat screen. Like, and again, I talked a lot about Switch yesterday, and I'll talk a lot about Switch for the rest of my life. That's how I want to play games. But playing something on my little handheld device is a wildly different experience than playing something in VR. It's like two different hobbies that I love both of, right? But for very radically different reasons. So Yep. So good job, everybody. Also, yeah, hold on a second. I didn't post this in the. If you guys do want to dogpile on the Galactic Racer.
I was wondering how you were going to put it. Like, you're going to put it in a... No, just dogpile. Just dog...
That's the Twitter link I just threw in there. I see some of you. I literally just looked at my notifications on Twitter and have like 7 new notifications. So you guys are already adding new comments to it. I love it. Bro, okay, but we gotta tackle some tips here, man. My brain is all over the place.
You and your tips. No, you're doing good. It's been
just a tip, Miles. Don't worry, just a tip.
Just a tip.
Oh shoot, I can't even scroll up high enough to see the very top one. Oh no, there it is. No. Andrew Ehrenreich with the $1 sent a mustache. Thank you so much, Andrew. Appreciate your mustache.
And a mustache.
Well, have you seen Andrew's mustache?
I hadn't seen his mustache.
Well,
but he sent it, did
he? Yeah, well, yeah, it's better over here than it is with him. Yeah, I'm making fun. I love Andrew Ehrenreich. I'm so bad at this, Miles. I poke fun at you. I poke fun at Wes. I poke fun at who's the other guy's name? AJ. I poke fun at you guys because you're my friends. And when I start getting to know the Game Cats, I do the same thing, right? Like I poke fun at them as if like we hang out in real life 24/7, and I do apologize if anybody takes offense when I poke fun at them because I only do it.
So a mustache is an actual sticker. So he actually did send a mustache. I'm having a look now.
He did indeed. And I can't, and I wish Andrew Ehrenreich was coming to Gamecat Meetup 2026 because I want to see the evolution of said mustache from last year's meetup. Gamecato sent an Australian dollar. Thank you so much. Here, I can go over click that. Appreciate you so much. Trixelful. With the 12 plantains said sad state of play, but some bangers rumored this year. Hope. Yeah, listen, again, I think it was a great state of play. Maybe I've just lowered my expectations, but I've been really enjoying Nintendo Directs and state of plays and everything. And I think the only sad part about that state of play was that there was no PSVR2, and that's it. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting soft in my old age, Miles. Maybe that's what's happening. Gamecat with the Australian $2 says, "Get well, Brian." Thank you. This is crazy. I haven't had back problems since I actually had a bad mattress a couple years ago, where like I was sleeping on a like brand new mattress, no support. It was like I sank right into it, and then I just had the worst back problems. I don't know what's going on right now, but hopefully it doesn't last much longer because it's hard to do very much of anything. Darth Vader, the Game Cat with the $10. Thank you, Vader. Says a very good friend of mine sent me a late Christmas gift, and it just arrived. It's a Darth Vader phone holder. Also, Brian, I'm sure Jason could give you a bear hug and fix that back right up. I think this is Vader's subtle way of reminding us that it's Friday the 13th.
It is spooky.
Happy Friday the 13th, Miles.
Use the phone, Luke.
I'm so glad we get to celebrate this holiday together.
Yeah.
Right. Honor the memory of all those who have fallen at Camp Crystal Lake before us. Is that what we do?
Embarrassingly, I've actually never seen a Friday the 13th movie.
I'm ending the stream. Good night, everybody.
I was a Nightmare on Elm Street. I did see Freddy vs. Jason, but that doesn't count.
Oh my god! Wait! Hold on. How many Nightmare on Elm Street movies have you seen?
Oh, well, I say all of them. I have the box set, the full box set.
Ooh, is it the DVD one that has like the?
Yeah. The fold out. It's the artwork beautiful. On that is amazing, right? Yeah. I never got around to the. I think I've still got mine in the attic. I have to get it. But yeah, I never. I don't know how many are on that one. I think it does end with. Is it New Nightmare, the one where it's the actors? Yeah.
Yes, I think Great. All of them. I think all of them they're there except for Freddy versus Jason or Jason versus Freddy, whatever the fuck it was. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've never seen any Friday the 13th ones, so I do need to fix that.
I mean, just watch Jason Takes Manhattan and you'll be good. It's the best one, clearly.
Is it really?
No.
I've upset quite a few people in the chat. Unbelievable.
Real fans know what I'm talking about. Actually, I got to be honest. Jason Takes Manhattan is one of my favorites because it's just so laughable, and I think this. I think you got to watch Friday the 13th a little bit differently than you watch most horror movies. Like you got to watch with a little bit of a humor slant.
I actually thought Freddy vs. Jason was awesome when I saw it.
All right, I'm gonna put you full screen so you can defend yourself.
Because you have two beloved IPs, they had to balance it out, and I thought they did it in a good way. It was funny. It was, yeah.
All right,
I haven't seen it in a very long. I literally saw it when it came out in the theater, and my memory was I turned up late and I had to be on the front row, so I was like, this, like Brian when he was in that bed that fucks his back.
I saw it when it came to theaters. I was super excited. I think it was the first Friday the 13th movie that came out after I was old enough to see them in the theater. And I will tell you, we were so high. We were sitting, my friends and I were sitting in the car, like in the theater parking lot, and we got so high that we got into the theater and just like completely forgot what movie we were going to see. The ticket guy was like, "Oh, go down this hallway, third theater on the left," or something like that. And we all started like stumbling away from him, and we looked at each other and was like, "What did he say?" And we don't know. So we're looking. It was like an adventure trying to find. That's how high we were. Is like we had trouble finding the theater we were supposed to be in. It was okay. I didn't have high expectations for it, but I also haven't given it another shot as post.
Yeah. Someone in the chat says it had a great soundtrack, and I do remember it had a lot of metal tracks on it. What was the Freddy vs. Jason sound? I'm just having a look. There was a couple of like new metal tracks on there. Oh, it had Il Nino, How Can I Live? When Darkness Falls by Killswitch Engage, which, by the way, I'm not going to get too off topic, but when Metal Hammer in the UK did their like every month you got a CD with it with 10 tracks, it was the first single from Killswitch Engage since Jesse left with this new vocalist Howard Jones. And When Darkness Falls was awesome. The Beginning of the End, Spine Shank, Sun Doesn't Rise by Mushroom Head, Hatebreed, Slipknot, Chimera, Seven Dust, Murder Dolls, Siva, Powerman 5000,
oh my God,
Stone Sour, Devil Driver, Holy, In Flames, Trigger, Lamb of God, Typo Negative. I mean, come on, that is a banging movie soundtrack.
This is reminding me of the Crow City of Angels that had like such an awesome soundtrack, but it was just like a really rough movie all around. Although amazing PlayStation 1 and Saturn game.
Okay, if there was a horror movie made from the ground up and it was one of these two, which one would you want? Made purely for VR, Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street?
Wait, game, not movie, you're saying?
Game, yeah. If there was a VR game, and I'm not talking about an existing game brought to VR, if it was like...
No question about it, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes,
I've always been a massive fan of that series and Freddy Krueger, and even the way they dish out the comedy in those movies. I've always appreciated more than I have in the Friday the 13th series. So and I do think that there's this great duality in the Nightmare series where you're scared of things in real life, but then once you go into the dream world, it's like where the hell are you? Right? In what form will Freddy take? Like, it's just like this element of those movies that are filled with unlimited possibilities where Friday the 13th is always like, well, maybe we should just stop going to Camp Crystal Lake and we'll be okay. Right? And it's always just some dude walking around with a mask and a knife. Right? It's like, it's very, very expected. And I do know they changed things, slightly throughout the course of the series, but one has infinite possibilities and the other one is like pretty straightforward. So I think VR suits the Nightmare series better.
The one thing, it's not a spoiler now, it's been out long enough, but in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, the scene where the kid goes to bed and he gets like absorbed by it and spat out on the ceiling is like one of the most scariest things I've ever seen. You
say the kid as if it wasn't fucking Johnny Depp.
Oh, it was Johnny Depp, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah. And then, like, just all the blood, like, dude, the idea of, like, because it's one thing of, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, it's the fear of falling asleep. But no, it's the fear of going to bed and being swallowed by it and then just liquidated. It's just, like, hardcore. Absolute hardcore. Anyway.
Thanks for the tip, Vader.
That was a great tip, wasn't it? Clearly,
that definitely steered the show in an entirely different direction.
And he definitely got his $9.99 out of it. $9.99's worth. Yeah.
You get a 20-minute conversation. And I think that's worth $10. Oh my God. Comic book guy with the £5 says, as we were talking about 3D movies for Disney Plus a week or a few days ago, 3D movies have been removed on Disney Plus.
They have. Yep.
On the Apple Vision Pro version. Oh no, that's going in the wrong direction. Wow, I wonder why that is. Like, it doesn't cost them anything for it just to be sitting there? I don't understand. Well, what could the reason possibly be for that? That's so sad.
Not sure.
Yeah. Or maybe someone else has gotten the rights. No, it's Disney. They own their rights to their own movies. I was gonna say, like, maybe it would go to another streaming service or something, but that doesn't sound right. It's very strange. Very strange. Or maybe they made a deal with a different headset manufacturer. Right, so get rid of him on Apple Vision Pro, bring him to. I would love to say PSVR2, but highly doubt it. I would say it's way more likely that that Meta would have made that deal.
Or maybe it's a more obvious answer, Brian. Maybe it's the same answer for a lot of these questions. Maybe it's in the Epstein files, but who knows?
I would love to get through an episode of GAMESCAST sometime this month without bringing up the Epstein files. Can't stop talking about it though. We can't stop talking about the Epstein files, you guys. Don't let anybody distract you from the important shit that's out there.
Well, with how everyone's feeling, there was more chance of Sony mentioning the Epstein files than a VR title. So, on State of Play.
Looper the Underground Gamecat. Why did I read it as Gamercat? With the €5. What's up, Looper? Said, did we hear anything yet from the developers who are holding off their announcement until Sony does it for them?
No. I have no idea what it is.
If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, no.
Redacted.
Yeah, like I don't want to say anything else because, I mean, yeah, I don't want to give up the ghost on the studio who promised me the secrecy and or the other people involved in this. So no, Looper. There are definitely games, like I said at the beginning of the show, that we know about that are coming to PSVR2 that, again, should have been. Looper says that's all I need to hear. Thank you. Should have been a state of play, and they weren't. And so it's like, well, what the fuck happened? Why not? And so that's the biggest reason, I think, Looper, that I believe in a PSVR2 spotlight, because we know games that should have been announced. We know games that should have been on a Sony stage, and we're not shown. I really do want to get back to these tips here in a second, Miles, but we also have a lot to talk about during this show.
We do? Yeah.
Well, whatever. We got a release date this week for Iron Guard Salvation, the sequel to Iron Guard. Maz, you played a bunch of Iron Guard, right?
I platinumed it. Yep, and I will happily platinum this one, even though it was really difficult. Getting the last few 3-star missions. But I loved it, man. And that says a lot, because I've mentioned this on previous shows, but when it comes to tower defense games, I have very mixed feelings about them. My mixed feelings are, normally I enjoy them from the get-go, and then I just suddenly lose interest because you get really far into a mission and then you die and you're like, now I've got to go through. It's the same with like horde modes in games, where it's really easy for like 20 minutes. And then it gets hard. And then when you die, you're like, oh, I've got to go through that 20 minutes just to get to the bit that I find challenging. And I actually found that Iron Guard had a really good balance. Like, nothing overstayed the welcome. You could do the endless modes if you wanted to. Had a Command and Conquer feel to it. And I've always heard that they listened to a lot of community feedback when they made the sequel. And I assume that they'll do a lot of nice PSVR2 bells and whistles on it with the features. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You know who else takes 20 minutes to get hard?
Oh, no, we're not. Oh, wait. No, what?
I don't know. I didn't bring it up.
Yeah,
listen, I really do hope...
You did bring it up.
I didn't get... I didn't 3-star every mission. I definitely am far away from the platinum. I found a couple of the levels in the first Iron Guard to be just brutally difficult out of the blue. And so, which forces you to change your strategy, which is really nice because you think you got a strategy down, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I can't just keep using freeze and lasers on every single level. I got to mix it up, and some of these levels are going to require a little bit more thinking. I think my biggest complaint about Iron Guard, which is a very minor complaint, is that the resolution could have been sharper. Right?
I agree.
There's this like weird default resolution that the PSVR2 seems to default to, that where it's like it looks fine, but it's just not razor sharp like we've seen plenty of games be, like including Red Matter 1 and 2, right? We know that Vertical Robot are a master of tech, and that they're amazing with their ports, but like those games have a lot going on in the environment, and they look razor sharp. So it's like for a game like Iron Guard or Iron Guard Salvation to not even have that level of resolution, utilize DFR, do what you got to do, is crazy. So basically, my biggest hope for this is that they do take a little bit more advantage of the headset and its capabilities, and make this full-fledged sequel razor sharp. So it gives that's kind of what I liked about Saints and Sinners, right? When we got Saints and Sinners Chapter 1 brought over to PSVR 2, it looked very similar to what I remember the PSVR 1 version looking like, right? Resolution-wise, even though it was clearly an upgrade, but it had a little bit of a soft look to it. And then you play Chapter 2 and you're like, oh my God, this is razor sharp. This is like one of the best looking games in the headset. So I do hope we get that with this, because hey, we're getting a little bit more content, we're getting updated gameplay, new maps, all that stuff. But hey, having a little technical boost makes the sequel even more attractive to me. So I hope that's what we're getting. And we definitely buried the lead here, Miles. The release date for Iron Guard Salvation, which I didn't mention at the beginning of this conversation, is very soon. It's March 5th. So it's next month. We're literally days away, which is cool.
Excellent.
Not even the only game coming in March, Miles. And in fact, the other game that we're about to talk about is... It probably isn't going to be... I'm not sure how many people know how exciting this is. We got word today, and I want to give a quick shout out to Jelly from our Discord. Right, I love you. Hello, guys, Jelly. Right? Because I only have 2 eyes, and 2 hands, and 2 feet, 10 toes. But it means I can only be looking at so many Discords. I can only be searching for PSVR2 news so much, right? I rely on you guys so heavily, and you're awesome, because you guys get out there and you're on every Discord, you're asking about PSVR2 stuff, and then you post it in our news channel. And I got to tell you, man, there's a lot of other YouTubers out there, a lot of content creators, and a lot of Twitter accounts who are just sitting in our news channel posting what they see in our news channel as news, right? Without crediting us. But you know what? Whatever. We're just happy to be providing a service for free that have taken 10 years to build for other people to abuse. Anyway, the point is, Jelly was here. Here's the message he had in the Grimlord Discord. We're talking about Grimlord. I keep burying the lead. Grimlord. He said had an afterthought that Grimlord hasn't been released on the PSVR2 platform yet, and their response was, "Yep, that is set to release very soon. Actually, it's in its final stages. I would say less than a month." Which is pretty crazy. That means it's coming very, very soon. I threw March out there because, less than a month usually turns into a month. And then the CEO guy on their Discord responded, yes, despite many difficulties, it's nearing completion. We had to upgrade the engine to version 5.6 because versions 5.3 and 5.5 had some bugs. Very few teams are making VR games with UE5. Sony and Epic could offer very limited assistance. So that's the reason it took so long. Miles, we've been talking about Grimlord. I actually looked it up. When I announced that Grimlord was coming to PSVR2 3 years ago. It was in June of 2023, so not quite 3 years ago. So we've been waiting for this one for a long, long time. How much do you know about this?
I don't know a huge amount. I've seen gameplay, and I've heard it's a lot of fun. But it's like it's a Dark Souls or a Soulsborne style game. From the gameplay I've seen, it looks a bit slow paced, but it might have been just the people I was watching playing it. But it looks cool. I welcome more games like this. especially if it's one that's beloved on other platforms.
Yeah.
It seems to have done well in terms of reviews and that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm super excited because it feels. This is so weird to say. It's from what I've seen, it seems like a slightly. And I don't want anybody misrepresenting what I'm saying here, because it seems a little like a more arcadey version of Legendary Tales, right? It's got that dungeon crawler element to it. However, when I say arcadey, I don't mean difficulty-wise. I mean, it seems like it's still brutally difficult. However, this has, like, you know, they've even got a jumping mechanic in this, right? So I think a little bit more freedom of movement, but not nearly the depth of RPG stuff that Legendary Tales has. So it's a little give and take. But from what I've seen of this, man, people are raving about this game, and and being able to go in and level up RPG style while simultaneously playing it like a Dark Souls game, just seems like it's scratching an itch that we don't get to scratch very often. And I'm super excited for this one. Hold on, I've got a better video. This video isn't showing a ton of gameplay. Real quick here. Yeah, so the studio themselves put out this very strange video, 10 things you might not know about Grimlord. And they are, whoever made this video over there internally desperately wants to be like a content creator, because some of the edits they did are so cringeworthy. It was kind of tough to watch with the sound on, but I'll spare you guys. I'll spare you guys from having to watch it. Anyway, the weapons. Yeah, I don't even know. But there's a lot of cringeworthy edits. But still, it's still a good video. It shows you what the environment's going to look like. Shows you what the action is and how it all plays. And it makes it look really good. However, this thing has been in development for PSVR2 for quite a while. So I reached out to the studio, still waiting for a response. Really curious to know what frame rate they're shooting for, right? Because as good as it looks, I don't know, we've definitely seen stuff looking this good running at 90 frames native. This is what I'm talking about. Look at these fucking edits. This is crazy. It's so bad. And now we have we've got it sounds like Blade and Sorcery is trying to port their game over to PSVR2. Legendary Tales is already here, and we've got the DLC for that coming mid-March, right? So that's coming soon. And we've had Swordsman since day one. So it's like they've got a lot more competition today than they would have 3 years ago. So I am very curious to see how this holds up. Here, I'm gonna bring up some other people's. I'm gonna bring up the Steam store listing here, Miles, so we can get some feedback on how this looks. I tried to watch as many videos as I could today about Grimlord, and I suddenly realized why people like Without Parole so much. It's rough out there, you guys. It's rough out there.
Yeah, it did 4 out of 5 on the MetaQuest store, which is not a bad score, but games that are 4.5 and above are ones to really, really shout about. But there's a lot of people that think it's an absolute masterpiece for Souls fans. So in VR,
I got the Steam page up here so that we can kind of scroll through this together. So it's mostly positive reviews. It came out on Steam. It must have launched on Quest first, or it was in early access on Steam, one or the other, because it came out on Steam December 2024, and we had announced it was coming to PSVR2 prior to even that, so it must have been in early access. Let's see. Let's just check out one of the first reviews here. So far, what are you meowing about, bud? Where are you? Come on up. Come hang out. So far, having a great time. The combat strikes a nice balance of gamey and physics-based, which is kind of what I was saying earlier. Parries feel satisfying to pull off. The weapon variety is pretty decent. The crafting system helps a lot with that. I love crafting. Crafting's good. The world and mechanics feel very Souls-like, with bonfire equivalents and shortcuts being unlocked. He says Grimlord makes handling two-handed weapons feel good, which isn't always guaranteed. Think Blade and Sorcery.
Yeah.
But with gamified parrying, kind of like Until You Fall, but without guided indicators. He says some good stuff about the enemy AI attack patterns. It's all very learnable. This guy says, if you want to play this game and enjoy it, you need to understand how the weapons work, how physics work, and you actually have to learn to parry, dodge, and hit weak spots on enemies. This game starts pretty slow, but once you get hooked, you won't have any complaints. Before this review, I didn't like the game, and I put a bad review. But if you're only 1 to 2 hours into the game, give it another chance. It has great potential. So it sounds like a learning curve. Sounds like maybe spend some time with it before judging it. This is my favorite. Dark Souls mixed with Blade and Sorcery. What's not to love? Oh, we found a negative one. I like the idea of Dark Souls in VR, but man, this game is bad. It feels like a mobile game made in 5 hours with a bottle of beer.
I like beer.
Yeah, it's good. But he's got 1.3 hours on record. Maybe he needs to spend, right? This maybe is what we're talking about. Spend a little bit of extra time with it. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll do one more. Wow, what an amazing game. It captures that same sense of joy and excitement I felt playing Demon's Souls, but fully immersive in VR. He's got 73.2 hours on record.
Wow. Yeah.
I think we found a dev. I really appreciate the freedom of customization. Instead of being stuck with a specific stats mid-game, Grimlord lets you experiment with different builds. This is a welcome change from the Soul series, which tends to lock you into a path early on. The combat's awesome, encourages the use of real-world techniques. My only minor gripe is the weapon dropping mechanic when facing repeated attacks, comparing it to Legendary Tales, which rewards successful parries and... it's a word I don't know. Grimlord feels riposte. What? Why don't I know? What are you doing? What are you doing? You playing with a pen? Boop, boop, boop. You can play with the pen. It's fine. Grimlord feels a little more punishing in that specific area. That said, the overall experience is still incredibly enjoyable. My only complaint is that while using the PSVR2 on PC, I experienced a fair amount of crashes. I'm sure it'll be stable when it actually gets to PSVR2. This is great news, Miles. Great news. Grimlord seems like a game that, we desperately want more ports from PC VR games over here, more ports from Quest games over here. But as always, we definitely want the good ones more than we want the bad ones. And so games that have sort of been like kid tested, mother approved for us prior to the port. Oh, now it's on the ground. How are we going to play with it now that it's on the ground? Do you want me to get it?
That look.
What are we going to do? Now the pen is on the ground. Do you want me to get it? I can get it.
No, don't risk your back, Brian.
It actually fell onto a comic book box, which is slightly higher than the
No,
ground.
don't do it, Brian. Okay, well.
This is what the audio listeners miss out on.
What's Tornado going to draw?
Just boobs.
Nice.
All right. Everybody be excited. I was going to call it Grimoire. Grimlord. It's coming out, according to the developers, within a month or so. I expect to see this. Everything always takes longer than expected, but the fact that they're saying this to me means they probably just passed QA, which means now, and if they haven't passed QA yet, take this with a grain of salt because it means it's not coming out next month. I'm excited.
If to get a platinum, you don't need to complete the game on permadeath mode. It might become a favorite over Legendary Tales for me.
Listen, I love Legendary Tales. I'll go to bat for Legendary Tales every day of the week. But God, that game is punishing sometimes.
Yep,
punishing, and it feels like this could be just as punishing, just in different ways. Yeah, it's good to know. Good to be aware of what we're getting. Let's keep the tip train rolling. We got Andrew Bailey. I knew the name was up here somewhere. Andrew Bailey with the £5 says the percentage of PS5 users that own PSVR2 is the time they should have dedicated to VR titles in the state of play and stuff.
I like it.
Okay. So how many PS5 gamers are there? Is it like 50 million or so?
Yeah.
I don't we'll say 50 million just for the sake of math. And then what, 2 to 3 million PSVR2 headsets?
I always thought it was around 2%, the difference, but it's actually maybe a bit higher.
So it'd be what, 4% if it was 2 million versus 50 million?
I mean, because Sony have sold, I think they've sold around 90 million, haven't they?
Oh, then yeah, we're back down to 2%.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, and that's fine. That's fine. That means we would have gotten a 1 minute PSVR2 sizzle reel as we wanted. So
yeah,
that works for me. You spend 1 minute in a 60-minute state of play on PSVR2. We all would have been much happier with that. Thanks for the tip, Andrew Bailey. We got Trixelful is back. Trixelful. Fuck, I suck at this. With the 30 plantains, thank you so much. Says from my Horizon. Oh, for my calculations, Horizon Called Mountain sold somewhere. I'm 2. What is this 2KK? Probably of bundles, 40KK, all series. What is KK? How many PSVR?
Okay, isn't it?
How many PSVR2 headsets? I mean, is he using 2Ks in place of 1 million? Horizon Called Mountain sold 2 million, probably with bundles, because it's 40 million from the whole series. I think he's using 1K is usually 1,000, but I think he's using KK as million. I would just put M usually, but maybe he's got a different. I say maybe he's got a different. Maybe the official way to do it is different. How many PSVR2 headsets do you think there are now? 4 million? Most of them in drawers. I don't know. It's so difficult to gauge. And you know, I know that the price put a lot of people off. At launch, the price put a lot of people off. It was 550 without the game, 600 with a game, and a lot of people didn't like that, which is understandable. It's a really expensive peripheral, right? It's not something you just buy on a whim, right?
Yeah. And then there was no backwards compatibility. So the people that were on the line and owned the first one, and again, I understand why there was no backwards compatibility, but it doesn't take away from the fact was there was a load of PSVR owners who were more casual gamers who were like, oh, I might get the PSVR2, it's expensive. Oh, but everything I've bought so far is not going to be playable in it. Okay, well then, no thanks.
Yeah, and like I said on yesterday's State of Play stream, I don't think I would have bought a Switch 2 at launch or anywhere near launch if it wasn't backwards compatible, right? Because it's like $500 unit, and most of the games I wanted to play on it were not Switch 2 games; they were all Switch 1 games. So, excuse me. So I definitely see all the reasons that people didn't jump in right away. However, now that we're starting to see $300 be a regular price for the headset, whether it be during a Black Friday sale or just during a random sale that we've been seeing recently, I can tell on the channel when there's a big sale happening on PSVR2 because new subscribers start rolling in. So I would love to get updated figures. I'd love to get any kind of figures. I know Sony's not like looking to advertise that because it doesn't sound good, right? It does not sound good when you say, oh, we've sold 3 million headsets or 4 million headsets. It sounds bad, right? I think if they hit 10 million headsets, they'd be telling us about it because we understand that the VR market is so much smaller and most people understand that, but I don't think they're going to be announcing numbers until then. Sorry, we don't have any more insight for you. You think? No, KK.
Doesn't that mean 200,000?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That would have been much better math. So Horizon Call of the Mountain sold 200,000.
Oh.
Well, and so 40 KK, is that 4 million? I can't do math. I can't. I need to see it I need to write it out and put commas and stuff where they need to be.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm gonna blame my back. Gamecat with the Australian $10 says, Struthcobber, I got to pay out $3,000 of that pledge because Order 1 hit its initial $10,000 goal on Kickstarter straight after the State of Play aired. AJ and Jamie, get ready for Gamecats to rip off your arms. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great, man. That's great. Sorry for your $3,000 loss, but hopefully it means that we've got a pretty awesome game coming to PSVR2 in the form of Order 1.
Ooh.
All right. Oh, I was going to say that gets us caught up on tips. It doesn't get us caught up on tips, Miles. In fact, we've got another Gamecat tip following it immediately after, another Australian $5 saying Stellar 2026 RoboQuest multiplayer mode and maybe flat out. Bring it on. Give us a date, Miles. We want a date. We want a date. Miles, we want a date. Miles, we want a date. Do it. You know who else wants a date? I think Brian wants a date is what we're getting out of this conversation.
It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. I mean,
oh shit.
Oh shit.
I know at least one person who's going to be mad that I just remembered that Valentine's Day is tomorrow.
All right, I'll give a date for one of them. 2026. Oh, does that not count as a date? It's a date.
For one of them? Do you mean the RoboQuest multiplayer that was promised in early 2026 already? Perfect. Well done, Miles. Ow.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've got stuff. We're cooking. We're cooking. All the stuff you speak of will be. You'll get updates soon.
Good. I'm excited. I'm excited. We got gaggle of doozies. Sorry, it takes 3 times. Gaggle of doozies with the $5 said Sony sent a resounding message. We see you, we hear you, and we don't give a flying fuck. It'll be up to indie developers to keep this VR boat afloat. Bro, it's been up. This is the message we've gotten since 2016, right? Sure, there's been games like Blood and Truth. There's been games like Astrobot, right? We got more first party support on PSVR 1. However, those games, we are not talking about. Like we didn't get God of War in VR. We didn't get Uncharted in VR. We didn't get Horizon in VR the way we wanted it, right? We're not talking about AAA support even from Sony, right? Although there were some really noble efforts. I'm not trying to downplay what happened in the PSVR 1 era, but what's happening in the PSVR 2 era is Sony, instead of doing stuff internally, because again, internally they're a mess, they're paying. They paid for us to get Resident Evil 4 remake. They paid for us to get Song and Smoke. They paid for us to get Village. They did bring us first party stuff, day one with Gran Turismo and Horizon Call of the Mountain. But the reason we're getting Microsoft Flight Simulator is not because Asobo just wanted to do it for funsies. It's because Sony said, guys, you got to do this, and probably gave them a lot of money to do it. It's the same reason Hitman came to us on PSVR 2. Right? IO Interactive wasn't just sitting around going, you know what we want to do? We want to make a perfect version of Hitman, World of Assassination. It's because Sony paid them, and so yeah, I don't think we're in a wild. My point is, I don't think we're in a wildly different situation than we were 3 years into the PSVR 1 era. Right? We did get more first party support at this point. 2018, I think, was the year. AJ knows years better than I do. I think 2018 was the year we got so many things. Everybody's Golf and Blood and Truth, and it's good stuff. But again, it was still smaller VR experiences. It wasn't full-fledged AAA games, right? And I think when we think of Sony, that's what we're looking for. We want the Gran Turismos, we want the Uncharteds, we want the God of Wars. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. We hear this shit all the time. And I'm not putting you down, Gaggle of Doozies. But like the number of times during the PSVR 1 era, we were like, AJ and I had to sit there every episode and hear people go, PSVR 2 or PSVR 1 is dead. They weren't calling it PSVR 1 because it was the only PSVR. They were saying PSVR is dead. Sony doesn't care. They gave up on VR, right? And it's going to be third parties that keep this boat afloat, right? Literally the same message in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, right? And there's not going to be a PSVR 2. And now people are screaming, there's not going to be a PSVR 3 because of one state of play. Because of one state of play that didn't happen to have VR stuff in it. So just keep in mind that everything else good that's happening. We are getting great third-party support, which is so much more important. I think, than first-party support, right? You saw what happened with the GameCube, right? First-party support does not carry shit the way that third-party support does. First-party can only put out so many games a year. Third-party can put out an infinite number of games every year. So I don't think it's a bad thing that we've got great third-party support, and Sony's out there throwing money at developers to bring us higher quality third-party support on top of it all. You're not going to see Microsoft Flight Sim on Quest.
It's like what's often said with technology. And our expectations of it, that we often overestimate the short term and underestimate the long term. Yeah, if we ever take a quarter for PSVR2 or PSVR, there's a lot of disappointment. But when you look over a year and you look back, you're like, actually, in the grand scheme of things, we actually did get served quite a lot. It might not come from the channels that we wanted, like more from Sony directly than others. But I do think that if you adjust your timeline in which you make judgment, I think that that's a really big factor for it, because obviously at any point in time, we just want to know, what am I playing now and what am I playing next? And often we always talk about things, this has just been announced, it's coming out next month. Right. Like you never have, you never know what's just around the corner, and there's going to be a lot more of that coming up. So
right. And if we do say we do get, and again, this is just speculation, I'm just trying to say we do get a PSVR2 spotlight on the PlayStation blog next week. Right. And a new game drops, and a couple of new games get announced, right? A new port gets announced, right? And it's over on the PlayStation blog official, right? Everybody immediately forgets about the state of play, right? People are so keen to focus on the thing that just happened, and not remember the great stuff that happened prior or the great stuff that's coming later. So, just try to be patient, everybody. Right? It really sucks knowing that good things are happening. And this is what I said. So my response to somebody's comment on the State of Play live stream was something along the lines of like, oh, it's clear that Sony doesn't give a fuck about PSVR2. And my response was, what sucks, what makes me upset isn't that there was no PSVR2 content in the State of Play. That doesn't upset me. What upsets me is that I know that Sony hasn't given up on VR. I know they still care about PSVR 2. However, State of Plays like this give everyone the impression, and for good reasons, that they have, right?
Yes.
And so, and I know it's so easy for them to add a 1-minute sizzle reel, like, or 2 very short segments about games that have already been announced, right? With some VR footage, something. It takes so little for them to remind everybody, hey, we haven't given up on this. We do still care about VR. We like being in the VR race. It means something to us, even if it's not wildly successful. So I'm not sad that the stuff wasn't in there. I'm sad that it would have taken them so little to tell people, hey, we still care. And they didn't do that, because we know they care.
If they just did a section where they're on camera when they're talking, and they had a PSVR 2 next to them, and they just want to say, you know, when they do stuff on the portal and they say, this is everything we've supported so far, and then they do one announcement, it could just be a little sting. Yeah, show Horizon Call the Mountain, show GT7, show Resident Evil, all this sort of stuff. Yeah. There will be so many people watching it that have always like considered, and when they see it thrown in front of them like that in that context, and it's never been at a better price, they would shift units. And yeah, it is frustrating to see. By the way, a lot of comments in the chat saying that I look wrecked. And I just want to say, it's past midnight here. Also, like, Fridays can be quite a long slog for me. Like, I start work at 10 a.m, 14-hour day, go straight into this, and I try my best, but sometimes my eyes can't hide it. So, yeah,
it's all good, man. We're all working with what we can work with. But as always, like, I never want to miss this show. You know, like, I'm pretty wrecked for different reasons, and I absolutely should have canceled the show, but I was like, fuck it, man, we gotta keep pushing, because I know that I'm gonna do the show and make myself feel better. If I just laid in bed with a sore back, I would have been like, I should be doing GamesCast right now.
Right. Exactly.
Chester Meadows in the chat said, so why don't they do it, Brian? And I think that we addressed that a lot at the beginning of the show, and how what Sony's plans could be. It's always impossible. It's impossible to tell you what Sony's thinking, because they're terrible at it. right? They're terrible at messaging. They're not nearly as good as they were during the PS3, PS4 era. They were so good at messaging back then. They had their shit together. They don't have their shit together right now, right? A lot of shit has gone downhill for them, and they're figuring stuff out. And so, yeah, why don't they do it? I don't fucking know. But my best guess, two guesses. One, there's a PSVR2 spotlight coming on the blog, right? We got a 3-year anniversary, and I just don't think that sometimes Sony wants to put PSVR2 in front of people so that there's any negativity associated with their state of play. Right? They're like, oh, we just want bangers and, highlight this game and highlight that game. And we know the PSVR2 audience is small but dedicated. And so we'll do a separate thing for them over here on the blog. It's a little quieter, right? We don't need to make a lot of noise about it. It doesn't have to be in front of the 50 million people who are watching this live stream, most of whom don't have a PSVR2 headset. That's number one. Number two is I've heard rumors for probably 2 years now. And this is more copium than I can ingest all at once, Miles. But I've heard rumors for a couple of years that there were discussions internally about having a separate VR state of play in order to say, hey, we still care about this, but we don't want it interfering with our, primary user base. We want it to be for the VR gamers. And if that's still a possibility, I don't know. I don't know how far that got into discussions. But poor Jamie Feltham, if that's ever a thing.
The only other thing I'd throw in the mix is I think there's always an internal battle at PlayStation over their priorities. And it's not just look at the stuff that's happening. Bungie and Marathon, what happened with Concord 2, which I know has become a bit of a meme now. But the point is that there are big projects. Like The Last of Us was doing an open world factions game, and that got canned. Like Naughty Dog, like when people were saying, like, what have Naughty Dog been doing all this time? Well, they've been working on Intergalactic, but they were working on this massive Last of Us multiplayer game.
You think that there was their primary team? Because Naughty Dog's huge, right? Do you think that was the A team?
I think it would have in parts, yeah, definitely. Just because The Last of Us is such a beloved franchise, and I think that. My understanding of how it grew as well was it started off as like, we're just going to do a factions mode, and then they just said it grew and grew into this bigger thing. And then when Bungie were on, I think the Bungie team looked at it, at the monetization, or like or it was made clear that for this to sustain, you're going to need to have this amount of resource constantly on it. Yeah. And they decided like this was too much of a gamble to do. So. I'm gutted because factions on The Last of Us was great. They just need to make another one of them on The Last of Us Part 2. But yeah.
We get Dead Ringer with $5 says VR games weren't announced at State of Play because there's going to be a PSVR2 only State of Play to celebrate 10 years. Oh, that's such a good point. I keep forgetting, it's a 3-year anniversary of PSVR2, but it's also this year October will be the 10-year anniversary of PlayStation VR, period. Which is crazy, Miles. We've been covering PlayStation VR on Without Parole for 10 years. And then the channel was like a year and a half older than that, I think. So, or maybe 2 years older. Yep. I'm starting to become an old school YouTuber, Miles. I'll never catch up to you unless you die or something. What? I can never catch up to you.
I have no plans for that yet.
How can I win this race? You can die.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, VR courses, Marathon has VR written all over it. For real, man. For real. Totally agree.
Oh yeah. Can I just say, actually, like Marathon, when I saw that trailer, I thought the trailer was exceptional. Like they didn't take it down. It just was not a traditional trailer. Like if they'd done the sort of the psychedelic interference stuff at the beginning, then it just went into a regular trailer. But the fact that they kept going back to all this like subliminal stuff flashing up, I thought it was gritty and I loved it. But yeah, Bungie, that amazing gun feel in VR. We always wanted Destiny 2 VR.
I would honestly prefer this, I think, over Destiny. Like, just the aesthetic alone, like having a
yeah, that's fair.
Right, because correct me if I'm wrong. Marathon's an extraction shooter, right?
Correct. Yeah.
right? So it's like we've gotten so few of those. I think Ghost
Yeah.
of
Oh,
Tabor
no, for
being
sure.
the only one, and then on top of that being like just this fucking triple A extraction shooter would be incredible. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah. For me, it's the first time I ever did a raid in Destiny. I was like, oh my god! Like when people were telling me you got to do Vault of Glass. And for those that don't know, raids in Destiny are like these multi-tiered boss levels, but it's like different rooms where you got to work out what the mechanics are, and everyone in your team has to play their part, or you wipe and you have to do it again. And like Vault of Glass, I remember I think I started at like 10, 11 at night, and then it was like 4 in the morning, and we were still on like just before the boss, and it was just incredible. Like, yeah, Bungie make really special stuff, and you know, the internet is just very toxic now. Like people love to see stuff fail, and that's not to say that criticism shouldn't be given.
Sure.
But it is like people also love the pylon. So like, yeah, Marathon definitely had a lot of issues. There was the whole stuff about artwork being stolen that shouldn't have been used. But like, there's no doubt that what we're looking at here looks absolute quality. And you know what? It might be the first flat screen game I get dragged into. I might give it a go.
And he was never seen again.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that this is one of the many reasons I thought this was such a great state of play. I thought there were just so many great games shown, so much. The reveals were decent. The pacing was excellent, right?
Yeah.
And for somebody who was sitting there waiting for a PSVR2 game, you would think I would walk away disappointed, and I wasn't. I was like, man, what a good show that was, right?
Yeah,
Instead of being like, oh, fuck that show, there was no VR. I was like, man, I'm happy. Sony feels like it feels like Sony's getting back on track, right? It's going to. I still think we're a couple of years away from Sony being the Sony that we loved, PS3, PS4 era, but yeah, I think they're getting there.
I think they're also working out what the end of the cycle is, because there's rumors that PS6 might not even come out until 2030 now.
Good.
Like, you know, yeah, which is what everyone's saying. But it does mean like the golden era is like just around the corner of you know, what we're going to see. So yeah.
I always think that developers and manufacturers, first party, third party, everybody's always at their best during the last couple of years of a console generation. And if that last couple of years gets stretched to 5 years, you know, I'm fucking sign me up. Gamecat sent 10 without parole gift memberships. Thank you, Gamecat, for your generosity. He's gonna have no money left to pay that $3,000 to order one. Professor Lois with a $5 tip says, "Hey Gamecats, this Sunday the multiplayer is Zero Caliber, and Saturday is Legendary Tales. We got a good weekend. Good. Thank you, Professor Loth. So yeah, if you guys don't know, it's every weekend, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, and 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. We play some multiplayer games. We get organized over on the Discord, then we jump in. You probably have some of these games sitting around, sitting in your library, no one to play with, right? You don't want to play with a bunch of squeakers or a bunch of randos on the internet. So instead, come play with the best VR community that there is, the Gamecats. Again, join our Discord to get organized and to figure out if you guys are doing the voice chats on Discord, or if you're doing in-game voice chat, how all that works.
It's so good with the PlayStation integration now. It makes it so easy. And can I say, actually, I joined both meetups last weekend, double bill of Ace of Thunder.
Nice.
It was amazing. It was such a blast, and having a great time with that game. Now, even though I'm still absolutely trash with it, but it was like laugh out loud stuff. Especially because we were all in the same voice chat, so you'd be like, okay, we're giving away our position because everyone's in the chat on both teams. But no, it was a lot of fun.
I heard you got 30 of the 32 spaces filled in the lobby, which I can only imagine is awesome. And then I think Cuspin was saying that in a separate meetup afterwards, I think a couple days later, they maxed out the lobby, which
amazing.
I gotta get in there next time. Things have been kind of crazy lately. Thank you again, Professor Lilith, for helping to organize these things. So much fun to get in there. And honestly, guys, listen, Zero Caliber, so much fun. right? I think PvP is the best part of that, and I do feel I didn't actually even.
I need to do more of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's deeper than I gave it credit for in my review because there's different PvP game modes, and I actually think PvP is the most fun that you can have in Zero Caliber. That said, don't forget that the Legendary Tales DLC is coming out mid-March, and you have to finish the campaign to unlock the DLC. So it's going to be a mad dash, man, between now and mid-March for everyone to finish Legendary Tales. And I don't have a character right now that can. My high-level character got wiped out before launch, and with a big update that they did prior to the game releasing. And so the character I have now, I need to get in there and just grind. I need to get in there and grind.
You'll do it at a good pace though. Like because my character got wiped along with yours, and I remember getting back to where I was like 4 times the speed, just because you know how it works. Obviously, it's been a while since you played it.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, I still need to beat the end boss. So I am happy to wait. I need to practice a little bit, and then we'll take it on together.
And listen, I'll tell you, man. You know, I get the some of the negativity after the state of play, but there's so much other good stuff happening that, like, we talk about, like, the, you know, getting the multiplayer meetups with the Gamecats, talking about the stuff that's on its way. You know, it's just for me, it's so easy to kind of like suppress that state of play a little bit, right? And focus on the good stuff, because, man, it really is. There's I'm feeling really, really good about the state of PSVR2 right now, despite everything. So come join the Discord, you guys, and be part of this. Sleep Mute with the Canadian $7 says, I love it when Brian gets all secretive and redacted. I don't. I'll be honest with you. I fucking hate it, because the last thing I ever want to be is like, well, I'd love to tell you, but I can't, right? I think that's like the big douchey thing to do, right? I don't like it. And that's why, like, with Miles and Wes, I'm constantly telling them, don't tell me anything. I don't want to know, right? Because if there's nothing I can do with that information, then I don't want to know. If I can't tell you guys, I don't want to know, right? And so most of the stuff that I know is because I stumble across it, or developers get in touch with me and, you know, ask about, you know, sales on PSVR2, like how do games sell, or you know, I don't know why they think I'm some kind of authority on it. only because it's been my entire life for 3.5 years. You know, and so I do accidentally learn about some stuff, but yeah. So I don't want you guys thinking that, like, I love being up here and being like, I wish I could tell you things, because I honestly do. I wish I could tell you everything. Fortunately, I don't think you have long to wait for most of the stuff that I know. It'll all be revealed within a few months.
And there's stuff I wish I could tell everyone here, and it's going to be more than a few months. So
oh my god, you know how douchey you sound, Miles.
I know. I just thought I'd lap up the feeling. Now, people are going to eat well over the next 6 months, easily. A lot of good stuff.
Great. All right. Dude, we got to start wrapping this shit up before things go really bad for my end here. I really want to get PSVR this week out tonight too, but man, I just want to lay down, give my back a break. Not breaking my back. All right, man. Let's do a little 4-minute challenge, and then we can wrap things up. I believe you are hosting it this week.
Yep.
All right, you guys, you know how this works. Miles is thinking of a PSVR1 or PSVR2 game, and it's up to us, you guys out there, and me right here, to figure out what game that is. We've only got 4 minutes, but an infinite number of yes or no questions to ask. So make sure you ask good questions in the chat, which I will ask. And based on the answers we get, suggest games that it might be. Oh my God. I can already tell I'm going to fail this one. I just don't have any hope at all. On my mark. Get Des.
Wait.
I'm sorry. Did you change the game? What happened?
I hadn't picked a game.
I
hadn't picked a game, Brian.
Well, my apologies.
No. I mean, I should have done it all session. No, I've got a game. All right.
Here we go, you guys. On your mark, get Des, go. Did we talk about it during today's episode?
No.
Damn.
That would have been easier for me to pick.
Guesses. Is it a good game? Asks Chrome Colossus.
Yes.
It's a good game. Does it have multiplayer?
Yes.
Is multiplayer already implemented?
What do you mean? Oh, as in like, well, yeah.
I was asking if it was RoboQuest. Okay, so it's already got multiplayer. Does it have a realistic art style?
No.
Is it PSVR2?
Yes.
Okay. Does it take place in a dungeon?
No.
Does it have voxel art style?
No.
Okay. Does it have a kind of a flat shaded kind of questy look to it?
Can you just give me an example of a game of what you mean? Like
the Paint the Town Red.
Oh, like cell shaded? You mean?
Sure. Let's go with that.
Sure. No.
Okay, so it's PSVR2, not realistic graphics. It's multiplayer. It's a good game. Did it make my top 50? Do you remember?
No.
It didn't make my top 50, or you don't remember?
I don't think it did. No.
Whoa. Okay. Is it sports themed? Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Cooper.
Yeah.
Is it bows and arrows?
Yeah.
Did you just pick this game last week?
No, because you picked a game last week.
Oh, right. Is it a one word? Is it a one word title?
Oh,
hold on a second. Is a one word title that we all refer to it by with a colon with many words after that?
Yeah, it can sometimes have that.
Does the okay? Is it like Rocket League?
Yeah.
Is it Knock?
Yeah, it is.
Holy crap! Why? What? Who just picked Knock recently?
Well, I think we might have talked about it on last week's show, then maybe, or the week before, because I've been having a bit of a resurgence. I've been jumping back into it, but I don't think I picked it 2 weeks ago. But I don't know.
Looper can hook us up.
But I think we probably did talk about it. I've talked about it a lot to a lot of people, and I'm getting my dad to get it on Quest tomorrow. And we talked about it in Discord chat as well.
Looper said it wasn't last week; it was December 1st.
December 1st. Oh, there we go. Okay. That was ages ago, man. That was like last year.
Seriously.
That was a whole year ago.
Yeah. No, I guess we did just talk about Knock recently, and that's why I was thinking it was a 4-minute challenge question. But yeah, what a great game! What a great game.
For me, it's a top 20 contender. Like I've just started jumping back into it. Unfortunately, there's just no one playing it now. But it is just the movement in it, and it just feels. It's just well optimized. It's got that feeling of achievement, and I find it more satisfying to play than Rocket League. Rocket League, you can come back to it and be like, I am trash at this. Whereas Knock is like, it's difficult, but I can get the hang of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Knock is a workout. Chrome Colossus, absolutely.
Corporate Zombie said, "Does it rhyme with cock?"
Yeah.
If only I'd asked that question first.
Yeah, fifth, the Australian $2 says, is Knock worth it against bots? That's a great question. I was actually thinking about it today because I was like, if I get my dad to play and he wants to like play duo, I wonder what the bots are like on the hardest mode. So,
I mean, I've spent a lot of time playing it with bots when we first got keys to it, and when I was like waiting for you guys to show up for multiplayer. Excuse me. I played a lot of against bots. They're difficult. They're not easy.
Yeah.
I think I turned it all the way down to the easiest level because I was like, these guys are too hard. I'm not scoring anything.
Right.
But again, it was also like when I was still learning the game. So.
And the miniature golf like modes they've got now, like the different portals you go in, are just so good because you're basically. It's obviously you're not doing it on a turn base like miniature golf. You've got a ball with the bow and arrow, and you're trying to get it to go across the environment. So like you might have to not let it fall over an edge, or sometimes on the harder ones you've got to get it in the air and then knock it back down again. And that's a really fun one to play with friends as well, as you sort of cheer each other on to see if they can complete the course.
I'm trying to remember how much this is here real quick. Let's go from the PlayStation store page. Knock, $20. For some reason I thought it was less than 20.
Oh, I think it's $7.99 on Meta at the moment on sale, but I could be mistaken.
Well, so to answer Fifth's question, then wait till it's on sale, because if we're not expecting to find anybody else to play with, I mean, the best bet for that is probably when it becomes a Saturday or Sunday multiplayer game on our Discord. I would say wait for it to be like $7 or $8, and you'll definitely get your money's worth. Single player with bots for sure.
I'm actually going to be doing a YouTube short vertical video soon about like 3 underrated games, and Knock is definitely one of them on there. Stilt being the second on there.
Stilt I go to bat for every day. I love that game.
Yeah, Stilt I just think is incredible. And then without thinking too much more, I mean, Paint the Town Red. I think those 3 are. It's interesting using the word underrated, because it's like anyone that's played them is not underrating them. They're well rated, but it's just like, not played enough. But watching this footage of Knock, I'm just like, I need to get back into this. If I wasn't tired, I'd be playing after this show. But get on the Discord, guys. And if there is a sale, tag me on social media, and I'll happily champion the sale and then organize a get together. Because. Again, like the open area they've got in the main area, and then they've got this challenge mode, which is great as well. I'm so sad that it's not like sustained, but yeah.
Atomic Teapot with the Australian $5 said can't wait for the 2026 Gamecat Meetup. We just added 2 more days to our stay, Monday and Tuesday.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'm there all through Monday and then leaving Tuesday morning. So I think I've got 4 full days there. I can't remember. I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I think I'm there. Yeah. I feel like if people are gonna risk coming to the States in April, then you might as well stick around for a couple days, right? If you're gonna risk it, you might as well get a couple extra days of vacation in. And there's gonna be a lot to do. We're trying to figure out the schedule right now. We're trying to figure out what day GAMESCAST is going to be, because we will do a live episode of GAMESCAST from a room that is insanely expensive, and so we're gonna have to do some fundraising streams, because between the hotel room and the flight, again, it's pretty expensive, and then the room to do GAMESCAST in was $750 alone. So we're gonna have to do some fundraising streams, but that will be fun. It'll be fun to do fundraising streams, and hopefully you guys can help us out more than you already do. So you guys are fucking incredible. So it's going to be awesome meeting some people. This seems like it's going to be the best year yet for the meetup. And again, I just want to make sure everyone knows, like, for anyone who's like, oh, I might come in 2027, I just don't know what's happening next year, right? I'm without Parole, with this channel, I'm taking it month by month. So I get people's if people are reluctant to come, I don't blame you. I understand. We're not oblivious to what's happening, especially me in my own backyard. So we want everyone to be safe, but we also would like to, as we always do with GAMESCAST and everything, we want to take people's minds off of it, and so hopefully we'll be able to not have to think about that shit at the Gamecat Meetup. But my most important priority is be safe. And if you're worried about it at all, we understand 1,000%. Luke Sparling with the Canadian 279 says, knock, knock, interrupting cow.
No. Oh, interrupting cow. Moo. That's it. Yeah,
Luke Sparling with the 279 says, moo.
Moo. No, it's okay. He did do the follow-up. Moo. I love it being told that way. Super chat jokes. Love it.
Yeah. It throws the timing off a little bit, but we try to work with what we're given.
But the cow did interrupt us still. I mean, it worked.
Did indeed. Gamecat with the Australian 5 says 2027 will be even better for PSVR2. Cyberpunk 2077 VR from Flat2VR for the win. Listen, I know he's joking. However, this is the kind of shit we want you guys to work towards. This is the kind of shit that like I do think it's a little bit silly when I see people talking down about Flat2VR, as I did on Twitter today, about what you guys have done so far. Right, the number of ports you guys have brought from other headsets, the number of flat games you've brought to VR. I mean, your first game was Trombone Champ, and I believe that was November of 2025.
2024. 2025. No, 2024. Yeah.
Right. So that was a year and oh god, I'm bad.
It's 2 months. 2 years? Yeah, like 2-3 months ago. Yeah, because it was towards the end of November. Like, yeah, we have barely started.
You're not even a year and a half. Yeah. Not even a year and a half since your first release, and you've already put out more games on PSVR2 than any other studio, right? And you're just getting started. So
yeah, let me just count the list because I did put it together for a social post, right? So obviously this is going to include publishing titles as well, but we are a big part of when it comes to PSVR2. You know.
This is part of getting games to PSVR2 is publishing, right?
Correct.
So if anybody ignores that element of it, it's pretty crazy.
So in a year and 3 months, we've done Audio Trip, RoboQuest VR, Shadowgate VR, The Mines of Mythrock, Surviving Mars Pioneer, Trombone Champ Unflattened, and V-Racer Hoverbike. So that's 6 in a year, which is pretty good going. And then, yeah. And then we've got ones that are up for wishlist on PSVR2 currently: Out of Sight VR, Postal 2 VR, Rager, and Wrath, Aeon of Ruin VR.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
And there's lots of other stuff happening that we haven't even touched on yet. The whole thing that we always get is like you get people going, "Oh, Trombone Champ, the first one," and that. It's just like. We haven't got ego. We know we have to do one thing at a time. I was blown away when I joined the company and they were doing Trombone Champ VR because I played the flat and I was like, God, this in VR would be hilarious. And it's still selling good and it's still beloved and it's good for casual VR gamers. But we're doing a really, really good mixture of stuff. And we've got a path ahead. We know what we're working on like over the next few years. And for us, it's like... We know that some people criticize us for announcing stuff before we've released other stuff. But the truth was that we had to get the momentum going last year. So this VR game showcase coming up in March, this will be a year since we had that big one because I was in Florida at the time. I think it was 6 announcements we made, including Postal and Surviving Mars and RoboQuest and all that. There was a lot going on. And for us, it's like our objective at the start of this year is to complete all the deliverables. We got Postal 2 VR, coming much later in the year. There's other stuff that we're working on. And it's not even about what we're working on. Like what you mentioned about Cyberpunk. I just want to let the Game Cats know. Look, I've got nothing to say about whether we work in Cyberpunk VR and stuff. But like the idea of could Flat2VR Studios do a Cyberpunk VR game? The answer is absolutely yes. Like, don't think this is not possible. And leadership at Impact Reality, Flat2VR Studios, the conversations, they are speaking to like big studios, big platform holders, and it is clear that when you have an IP that is big and beloved, and you could have a studio like us that is full of incredibly skilled developers that don't just bring something to a VR platform or PSVR2, but do so with excellence because they understand the PSVR2 features and the optimizations. And fair enough, there are going to be people who have critiques of like when RoboQuest came out, it had reprojection and stuff like that, but like it's gone through a lot of improvements, a lot more improvements still to come. But we're still, for a very young studio, we've done a lot so far, and like the opportunities ahead are exciting, really exciting and promising. And I just want to say once again, that is not just due to the credit of the wonderful people I get to work with and the amazing developers developers in all companies blow my mind at the magic they do, but because of Brian and this community and like just championing it, because without you, there would be no wind in the sails, and that's what we need to keep going forward. So just keep it up, everyone.
Yep. Yeah, and it's great, obviously seeing you guys out on Twitter being like actually courting, get the Cyberpunk license, right? Actually hitting the devs up and being like, hey, we'd love to make this, we'd love to do the VR thing for you, right? And it's great. It's great to see that kind of stuff happen. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have, what you're getting the rights to, what's coming down the pipeline. Off to a great start. Fifth with the Australian $5 says Legendary Tales fundraiser. Help each other finish it. Oh, do Legendary Tales as a fundraiser stream. Right. That would be, I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. The last time we did a Legendary Tales stream was a lot of fun. Having the four of us run around together in there. I would also love to do another Phasmo stream. With everybody kind of caught up on the new mechanics, how all the new gadgets work. And because the last Phasmo stream we did was fucking hilarious, but I don't think we were all on the same page knowing how to play the game. So getting everybody up to speed prior to that would be great. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, I think we're gonna have a handful of 4-player streams all happening over the next couple months, leading up to Gamecat Meetup 2026. And thank you in advance, everybody, for all the help and for tuning in. I think it's gonna be fun. All right, we need to wrap this thing up, Miles. I said it was gonna be a short show. We're coming up on 2 hours already. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Miles, for being here. Everybody go subscribe to youtube.com/Moyles. And keep an eye on his live streams because he's desperately attempting to stream every single PSVR2 game there is. And every day, Paul's just a little bit further behind.
That is very true. I need to get back on it. But I'm next week is definitely, it's going to be happening. Lots more to play.
Excellent. I'm excited. I can't wait. Yeah, and thanks everybody. Your support, whether it's by just hanging out here and being part of the chat or by actually financially supporting us over on patreon.com/withoutparolegames or being a member over here, tipping during the show. It means the world. We appreciate you so much. But it's time to wrap things up. We love you all. Here it is, your clip of the week, courtesy of Gamecat. Let's go.
À la hauteur où il était, il est
Yes!
programmé.
Oh, yes, I did one. I finally did it. Look at that. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, yes. I killed somebody finally, and then I died. Oh, that was fun. Oh, yeah.
I love, man. I think he said that was his first kill in Ace of Thunder.
It's so satisfying when it finally happens, because it's not because we were saying while playing it with the Game Cats that a lot of games when you get a kill you get the ding or like the sound that you've killed someone. In this, because it's all simulation, there's no like satisfying sound. It's just like, I think they're going down, yeah, and then you just see them parachuting out. Like there's a lot of the curiosity of like, did I take them out? And yeah, it's very, very cool.
I love it.
Brian, I just had a random thought, so I'm just going to say it now.
Oh, please.
After this show is gone, I'm actually going to fire up my PSVR2 and I'm going to jump into Knock for 30 minutes. So if anyone's got Knock, I will be in the main public area for the next 30 minutes. At least. So if anyone wants to jump in and do some of this challenge mode together or mess around, come join me. I've got an urge to do it now. I should be going to bed, but I can't resist after seeing all this footage on your screen.
Yeah, I'd probably be downloading that and joining you, but nope. My back.
You got to rest that back, mate.
My back's not having it. Yep. So I hope everyone has a wonderful night. If you do join Miles in Knock, make sure you get some good footage. Get a good clip of the week for next week's show. Y'all have fun.